Hello, welcome back. So my plan today is to make a pleated kilt wrap skirt thing. Excuse the mess in the background, maybe I should do it this way. But yeah, I'm going to sketch it and you'll see what I have in mind. So I guess the plan is I want something relatively midi length, mid-high rise, with like your wrap here. What a beautiful drawing. So you tie here, whatever, and I kind of want them to be like relatively emphasized, and then I want the front panel probably to be flat, which is why I kind of referenced kilt. So kind of looking at something like that. So the idea is that the pleats themselves will be stitched to create the waistband rather than adding on a waistband. This is the fabric. This lovely multifaceted colour to it, but it is a bit of a funny one and I've never really known what to do with it. I also haven't worked with pleats. This is going to be an interesting project. So yeah, this is it. Oh, I hadn't noticed that before. So it does crease, it's not the end of the world. I don't mind creased fabrics, I think it adds to the texture and age of them. But I feel like it could look kind of cool in a skirt. It's quite nice and lightweight. We'll see. I haven't got a huge amount of it, is the only problem. So I think this is going to be a case of draping it and then taking it from there. Okay, so far this is what I'm working with. So I've pleated around the side just roughly. Just a little flat panel at the back, which I think is fun. It's kind of sweet. Wrapped over at the front, pleated at the sides. I did realise as I was doing this I have absolutely no idea what a kilt looks like at the back. It's pleated the whole way around, isn't it? But very loose inspiration, let's just say that. just trying to decide what thread to go for. This is probably the better match. Oh my god. The lighter one. It looks a bit better off camera than it does on camera, but I do like the way the dark one reflects this. I think I might go for the dark thread. I'll do a little test swatch. We'll see how it sews. About to understitch the facing. I just thought I would show you my little this foot. If you haven't used one before, it's so handy for understitching or top stitching. It really helps guide you. I'll show you what it looks like once it's on the machine. Alright, so you can see my seam along here, and then the needle currently is in the middle position, so if I was to drop it here, it would hit just to the left. Now this is the body of the garment, this is the facing, so I want it to hit on the facing. So on my machine I just need to flip the needle to the right, and now when I drop the needle you can see it's just hitting on this side of the facing, and that's going to catch all of the bulk of the seam, which will hold it in place, and that will help the facing sit really beautifully. Hi guys, I'm back in the studio and I'm gonna stop working on the skirt again, but I realised I did make a bit of a mistake with it. So basically the facing that I'm gonna stitch the pleats down to is gonna create a waistband. I did it just as a rectangle rather than curving it, and it's just sitting really badly. And I think because of that, and also just trying to gear myself up to actually fixing it, it has made me think about how there's so often a lull in the middle of these projects. It's something that I experience myself all the time, and I see my students experience a lot of the time. When you start, you're full of energy and excitement for this new project, and then you kind of get halfway, and whether it's because it's taking a bit longer than you expected or not looking quite as you envisaged yet. Often with clothing as well, before it's actually finished and you've done all the finishing touches and you've pressed it, it can look a little bit not quite right, just because a professionally finished garment will always be really well pressed. But there's often this little kind of moment. And I guess I just wanted to hop on before I got started for the day and show you how I'm going to try and fix the problem that I've created, to say that it is just a totally normal part of creativity. You kind of go through these lulls of energy, and I think the big thing is to just keep at it and not worry too much about trying to get perfection first time. And also, not all projects are going to be great at the end. You will get some great work, and you'll get a lot of work that you're like, oh okay, this is quite nice, but that's kind of part of the process, and it's kind of part of taking risks and experimenting and playing. I don't know, I get a lot of people come to me and they're did that just pause? Anyway, I get a lot of people come to me and they're kind of worried about making mistakes, and I just say, you're gonna make mistakes, but that's kind of where the kind of magic happens, because you just don't know what the result of that will be, and that's kind of exciting, but also it does require you to kind of put your head down and get through it. So that's where I am today. Anyway, I'll show you what's gone wrong. I'll just look at this. Hold on, can you see? There you go. Look at that gap. Not good. Anyway, I've got a bit of a plan to fix it, so I'll show you my plan. is just taken on a strip of paper and marked where the pleats were, and then just sliced to quite close to the edge, just so I can then move these little pleats. Rather like how when you make a pencil skirt into an A-line skirt, you display a pattern. And then I'm just gonna kind of fiddle with these pleats to get them laying how I want, and hopefully this will help give me an idea about how angled they need to be to create the shape around the hip and bum. So this is what we've ended up with. It's kind of fun. I'll show you what it looks like flat as well. You can really see the curve. It's actually quite an interesting demonstration of how you need to create curves in order to achieve the kind of cone shapes, I suppose, of the body. So yeah, so now the next step is to unpick my facing and then translate this paper pattern onto the fabric. So I've pressed out the pleats that I'd originally pressed in, and I think I'm kind of just going to use this as a little bit of a guide to start repressing in the pleats. Just again, these are actually pretty even, so I'm just going to keep replicating this width here to get the angle right. You can see it's not too bad. Or perhaps not quite as curved as this, but really, I mean, that's not bad. And this is something I can potentially correct a little bit with facing. So this is where we're at. Now I don't have a tailor's clapper to press these, but I'm going to put a ruler on it and some weights and leave this to cool to set. Hi guys, just waiting for the fabric to finish cooling down, which actually takes quite a long time. But I think I might call it a day here because I need to do some real life work and edit this video as well to get it up today. So I will see you in next week maybe, or the week after, and hopefully get this skirt finished. See you soon. Bye.